My name is Andy Padilla. I'm the Director of Training here at Rainier Firearms Academy. I'm a retired United States Marine and a responsible armed citizen. I want to explain a little bit about why I carry. First of all, I'm a husband. Been a husband for 22 plus years, my awesome wife. I have a daughter, she's 22, and a son, 19. They mean a lot to me, right? They're sacred to me. So is my community. My community is also sacred to me and this country. To kind of put things together in perspective, you know, if I found myself in harm's way where somebody was trying to prevent me from going home to my loved ones, the people I cared about and loved, I carry a firearm in order to defend myself, in order to protect that right that I have, and I carry that tool that would allow me to make it home to those people that I care about and love. My community is important to me and it's valuable to me, it's sacred to me, because if my community is safe and they are also well protected, I feel a little bit more comfort and I have a lot more confidence knowing that when I'm not there for my family, my people I care about and love, that somebody else is in that community. Next thing I want to get into is what I carry and ultimately like why I carry it. You know, I'm a big advocate on, you know, bigger is better when it comes to handguns. There's a lot more benefit from having a fuller size firearm. However, you know, they don't solve all the problems. I've carried everything from full size guns like a Glock 17 or even a Glock 19, all the way down to like an FNS 9C. Right now, what I use is the 6-hour 365. It's a standard 365. They have other models, other variants, like the 365X, you know, which gives you a longer grip, or the XL, which gives you a longer grip and slide. I choose this because it's a problem solver for me. So some considerations that I take into play with the firearm is, even though there's some benefiting factor from a fuller size gun as far as barrel length and having more velocity and a little bit more accuracy with like sight radius and things of that nature, as well as the magazine capacity, I'm not sacrificing a whole lot with this firearm. Yeah, I have, you know, a smaller barrel, maybe not quite the velocities, but it's still a problem solver within reasonable proximities that I would find myself potentially in a deadly force encounter. If I had to get myself out of that, this tool would be more than capable. The magazine capacity on this gun is a 10-round magazine capacity at minimum, with one in the chamber that gives me 11 to start off with. I have anywhere from a 10-round magazine backup to a 12-rounder or even a 15-rounder, which are also available. So magazine capacity, in my eyes, not necessarily an issue as well. It's a very shootable gun, if that makes sense. The trigger's nice on it. The sights are easy to pick up, and it shoots well. It's not extremely snappy. I found out from my own experiences, as well as, you know, having the ability to work with other folks that are contemplating at getting into firearms and utilizing this firearm as an option. They also find it pretty shootable, and it's usually one of the most recommended firearms that are out there for a concealed carry. Also, some benefiting factors in why I choose to carry it is simply the size. I'm able to carry it in just about any environment, right? Like now, I'm wearing a coat. It's wintertime here. It was 7 degrees this morning, and easy. I can carry this gun, no problem, without anybody seeing it. I can be in my vehicle. I can be driving around all day. I like to go off-roading, and I can be in my Jeep, and I won't even, it doesn't bother me to carry it. It's not going to be a nuisance when I'm sitting in the seat of my vehicle, as well as in the summertime when I'm wearing just a t-shirt. I don't have that printing that's going on with this, and I have to figure out how I'm going to be carrying it, or what type of holster or gadget I'm going to have to put on in order to make it to print less. This firearm allows me to solve a lot of those problems that typically arise when I conceal carry. And I'm pretty confident with the amount of effort that I've put into training with this tool. that I have that confidence in my abilities with this tool to deal with a deadly force encounter should I find myself having to deal with one. All right. Now, another thing I want to discuss is the holster that goes along with the gun. Again, a lot of different holsters out there, a lot of different locations to carry the gun. I personally choose to carry appendix, and I have a very minimalistic holster. Now, some considerations in a holster that I would encourage, or at least recommend, folks to look into when you're deciding on an inside the waistband holster, is something that's going to be non-collapsing. A good quality Kydex, preferably, holster that would not collapse. Because ultimately what happens is if you end up having to draw that firearm, you're eventually going to have to go back into the holster. And going back into the holster, I mean, depending on the situation or what's happening at that moment, of why you're making that ultimate determination to go back into the holster, it could be critical, right? You might need to get in there pretty fast. And to have something that's not collapsed on itself, that won't have to worry about parts of the holster folding in and getting caught up in that trigger and having a negligent discharge, it is critical, right? We don't want that to happen. So a good quality non-collapsing holster is something I'm looking for. And obviously because I'm carrying a minimalistic gun, I'm also looking at carrying a minimalistic holster. Some features on the holster that I find are beneficial to me are a wide clip. A wide clip affords me the opportunity for stability when it's on my belt. If it's narrow, I have noticed in times past with my box full of holsters that I've used at one time and I no longer carry, is those smaller clips have a tendency to ride around on you. They'll shift when you're wearing them. When you got something that's wider, it's able to keep it still for a little bit longer. This holster also allows me to have adjustable angles. So ride height, as well as the angles that it sits on my belt, is also critical because depending on where I carry it would ultimately determine on what angle I need it in order to be efficient in getting it out and in. Next is my belt. This happens to be a Next belt, okay? I carry a Next belt for a couple of reasons. One is, it's sturdy, extremely sturdy. It's stiff, yet comfortable when you're wearing it, if that makes sense. The ratcheting system on this belt is awesome for various reasons. So I'm able to get the tension that I need without having to worry about utilizing belt loops or the holes in order to achieve that. It just simply, I just ratchet it in tighter if I needed to, or I can loosen it up if I'm having a nice meal and I got to allow for that extra space. This belt allows for it. So transitioning between guns and if you carry anything else, this belt would allow you to accomplish that because of its versatility. All right. With all this said, what I'd like to talk about now is going to be training. Training is kind of paramount, right? Some things with training is we need to train with our tools and our accessories and things that we carry, and that's crucial. That's important, very, very important. But there's also a piece that a lot of people don't really take into consideration. It's the software building, right? The purpose of why you're carrying it, the reasonings and how that training is applicable to real life. That's all important. So in my eyes, that software building, that informational stuff that comes from classes is critical because that allows for better decision making in the end. With that said, we got a lot of classes that we teach here at Rainier Firearms Academy, and I encourage you to come in and attend some of them. Everything from our concealed carry classes to our use of force class, which is an awesome class that kind of goes over the use of force considerations, things that aren't actually taught in a concealed carry class. And we spend about 5 hours in a classroom with a lot of interaction with the students, and there's a lot of life-changing things that happen in that classroom, in that class. So highly encouraged there. We also have classes like our Defensive Handgun 1 and 2. We have ladies-only handgun fundamentals classes and intro to handgun classes if you're new to a firearm and purchase it for the first time. All those classes and more we have here at Rainier Firearms Academy, and I encourage you to get out, seek training, and come out and hang out with us.